It's your man's Isaiah Zane.
Hold up. You gotta put some emphasis on my name. It's your man's Isaiah Zane. Do it again.
It's your man's Isaiah Zane. Supporter, we have our current TGCW lumberjack match. What did everybody think?
and all you people standing up, the champ is here, so put your butt in the seat. I got something to say. Okay, so obviously you people have heard, there's been some speculations about how I won this belt. Think what you want, but I don't owe you people an explanation for nothing. All you need to know is that this belt is on my shoulder. And you know what this belt means? In the hands of any other man, this is just a belt. But in my hands, it becomes power. And with that power, I can go any place, anywhere, and defend this belt. And I'm a fight champ, I'm not gonna lie, I will go around and defend this belt. But, here's the kicker, on my terms and where I want to go. It's not, I don't feel like competing tonight, you know, it's been a hard week, I've been working hard. I did a couple bench presses, 315, 5 sets of 20, so I don't think today is the day. I'm a little sore, so I figured I'd kick back and just, take a break. Enjoy the show. But, hey, why don't you shut up and go brush your teeth? Now your teeth, your tooth. Shut up. So you people will never forget, the name is Tony Teleska. He is from the mean streets of Louisiana. He is the handsome half-breed. He is the Louisiana Tony. You got something to say?
Well, yeah, and I think all these people can agree with me that you need to shut your ass up. Hey, you shut up.
You shut up.
Let me explain something.
You shut up. I got more important things to say.
Don't nobody care what you got to say.
I do. My mama does. She does.
Let me explain something to you. Just because you got that belt on your shoulder does not make you a champion.
It kind of does. It kind of does.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. You up there standing like a pink flamingo up there. Whoa. You standing up there look like a bootleg Johnny Cage off from Mortal Kombat. I bet.
The man in pink, huh? The man in pink.
You're right, and I bet these sunglasses came from Dirt Cheap.
Of course. Actually, if you'd like to know, it's a special.
Yeah, special.
Hey, it's limited edition, but the only sad part is they don't have them in your size. I'm sorry, not 5X or 6X.
Look, all jokes aside, I really don't care what you gotta say. These people don't care what you gotta say. But these people want to see a rematch for that belt.
Hey, you're funny. Hey, hold up. You people gotta think about it this way. That is, first time we ever faced each other for this belt, you beat me. I'll give you that. Second time was a rematch. But you can't have three matches in a row. You gotta get in line like everybody else. You can't have a rematch on another rematch. That's just not logical.
Wait a minute. So I can't have a rematch, but you can.
Kind of looks like
That
that,
doesn't
doesn't
make any sense.
It does. Hey, if you haven't thought about this, in my contract it says I don't have to wrestle anybody I don't have to. Anybody I can wrestle anybody I want. I don't have to wrestle you if I don't want to. My terms.
So how about you tell me what are your terms are? In order for me to get back to that pound for pound heavyweight champion.
Well, how about you go up against my man's Isaiah Zane for that money championship, and then we'll probably talk. We can sit down at McDonald's where you want. You can have your Happy Meal. What are you doing out here, fatso?
Hey, well, I can't tell you. Hey, I look, big boys that love some Happy Meals.
Hey, make sure you got your CPAP machine. You're gonna need it. You're walking upstairs.
On television, bro.
tell you what.
Hey,
I checked his contract.
Michigan State's better.
I checked his contract.
He's correct.
He's correct. He only has to wrestle on his own terms.
That's what I like to hear.
And if Thaddeus is going to go through the money belt, I'm okay with that. They're going to be right back at you. But your contract also states you at least have to fight every other show. So guess what? Next month, we have a match for you.
I didn't see that. I have a little bit of dyslexia. I didn't see that.
Well, O'Malley wasn't the only
It's
thing.
fine.
O'Malley wasn't the only thing classified this month.
Wait.
It appears that Tony Tesla.
It is Teleska, not Tesla. You better get it right now. Say it. Say my name. Tony Teleska.
Come on, man. All right, look.
Teleska.
It looks like Tony Teleska needs more co-ops.
Whoa, I didn't agree to this.
I don't care.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. This is what I think of. I ain't scared of him.
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Boss Man. I really think these people are tired of him talking. So if you don't mind, can I come to the ring and whoop his ass, please?
No. We're going to honor the contract. But I'm tired of hearing you talk too. Go ahead and go into the back. We got a show to go through, man.
Whoa, I'm the heavyweight champion. I get to leave this ring when I want, anytime I want, because I'm the champion.
Well, I'm the boss to write your paycheck. Get to the back. Go.
You could say please. You could say please.
I could.
Boss man.
Good.
Can I please just, if you don't mind?
Wait.
I'll tell you what, how about I let him just carry you to the back?
Hold up. Wait. Can I say one thing? You said enough. Get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Louisiana Playboy, the handsome half-breed, is leaving the building. You're welcome.
So all I gotta do is go against Isaiah Fan and get the him.
That's it. I think you can handle it. I've seen you do that before. What do y'all think? Y'all want to see him do it? We'll be here next month. That match will be scheduled for next month, October 21st.
Well, if I have to go to Mr. Tony Teleska, whatever the heck his name is, I accept.